guys, it's Katie. Welcome back to my channel. I'm a little bit behind on this video, but today I'm bringing you my spring bucket list. This was like a series I started back in fall. So fall of 2017, and then I did winter of 2017/2018, and now we're continuing on into spring. It's a video that I decided to start doing because, as I explained in both of those videos, I just feel like there are a lot of fun things to do in life, and unless you actually list out the things you want to do and then insert them into your schedule and actually make time for them, as an adult, all those things just get lost floating up in my head or up in the air, and they never get done. So I don't know if that makes sense, but it's just basically I have all these running ideas of oh, this summer we should do this, or this spring we should do this, or this fall we should do this, but then you have to actually make it happen. So I'm bringing you my list of ideas that I have for spring. This list is kind of ambitious, I guess would be the right word, and that's because when I was searching for things to put on my list, I just felt like there were a lot of good ones. And also, spring and summer are a little bit interchangeable in terms of they have similar-ish weather. So if you want to do things outside or whatever, you could pretty much do them in the spring or in the summer. I don't know, I'm just excited that it's starting to get a little bit warmer here in Portland. Not super warm just yet, but it's lighter outside at night now. It stays lighter for longer, and I don't know, I'm just excited. So without further ado, here is my spring bucket list. The first thing on my list is probably not actually that exciting, but I feel like it's vital, and I honestly think everybody should do this, and it is spring clean. That's really cheesy and cliche, I guess is the word, but similar to New Year's resolutions in how, yes, you could spring clean at any time and you could have a New Year's resolution at any time, I do feel like the fact that it's spring, it's a new season, that whole spring clean thing is drilled into our minds. I don't know, we've heard that a million times. I feel like it is a good time to actually make it happen. I try to keep things fairly decluttered and clean all the time. I'm not perfect at it, but one tool that I use is I have one of those big IKEA bags. I keep it in my closet, in a hallway closet, and just throughout the weeks, if I come across something where I'm I don't need this, I don't use this, this is clutter, let me get rid of it, I will just put it in an IKEA bag. And then once that IKEA bag gets full, I take it to Goodwill. And I do that fairly often. I kind of always have a running pile of things to take to Goodwill. So that's one tip that I have. But in terms of my bucket list, I really want to truly spring clean certain areas. I know there are a lot of different methods. There's the Marie Kondo method, but I've kind of cherry picked the things that I like from that method, and then I do my own stuff. So I'm gonna clean out my wardrobe, my makeup brushes, my household items, just stuff that I'm holding on to that I just don't use. A philosophy I have for myself is if I don't use it, love it, or need it, I don't want it. Do you know what I'm saying? It needs to have a purpose, whether that purpose is that I just love it and it's beautiful and it's fun to have, or I'm actually using it every day and I can't get rid of it, or what was the other thing? Or it's just something that I do actually use, a perfume or a product or a clothing item or something that I'm using. I've talked this to death, but you get it, spring clean. I want to declutter, clean, refresh, reset. The next thing on my list is to attend a baseball game. So I live in Portland, Oregon, which does not have a professional baseball team, but the nearest professional baseball team would be the Mariners up in Seattle. So it's a 3-hour drive from here, a 30-minute flight, which is preferable for sure, but I've never been to a Mariners game, and I think that could be a lot of fun. I grew up in Phoenix, so I've been to a ton of Diamondbacks games. Then living in California, I went to, I lived right by Angels Stadium. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest baseball person on the planet, but I do appreciate that it's an all-American sport. I do appreciate that it's I don't know, just the whole concept of it. And I think it would be a lot of fun to make a Seattle trip out of going to the Mariners game. So yeah, that's on my list. The next two in theory could happen all together, but I kind of separated them. The first one is to have a picnic. Portland is a very gloomy, rainy place, and it has a fairly cold winter and fall and winter. So now that spring is coming and the sun's peeking through, and yes, it still rains, but the weather is starting to get better, I feel like having a picnic would be a lot of fun. This is something I've done I don't know, randomly over the years. I just enjoy the idea of like having a picnic, whether you pick up food or you like pack your picnic, which is probably the more traditional sense. I just think it would be fun to pick like a cool park or a cool spot somewhere and go enjoy the better weather. Number 4, which I said could kind of be like ingrained with that picnic one, but I don't know, I envision it being separate, is to drink iced tea and read outside somewhere. That's super random and super specific, but I really do love iced tea. And once again, this was my first year living in a place that was colder during fall and winter. I'm not trying to be dramatic because I know that it's not as cold here as it is in the Midwest and the East Coast, but this is way colder than Arizona and California, which are the only other 2 places I've lived in my life. So, whereas I've always been like a cold coffee drinker and a cold, like, I don't know, like year round, this year I wasn't. I was a hot coffee drinker because like it's freezing outside by my standard, and like I always wear a jacket. So once again, I'm trying to embrace the like, wow, the sunshine is coming back. Oregon's summers are beautiful, and so the spring is like a prelude to that. So I thought it would be really fun to like read a book, because I've been reading a lot lately, outside, like soak up the sunshine, and while I'm at it, go pick up like a fun iced tea drink from one of the thousands of cool like coffee tea places that we have in Portland. So that's my vision there. Number 5 is to bake, specifically some type of spring cookie or cupcake. That's all there is. I mean, Pinterest has a lot of fun ideas, and I just feel like it would be really fun to like actually bake cookies or cupcakes. I mean, you could make those, that's just on the list, honestly, because I like cupcakes and cookies. You could do that any time of year, any season, but it's on my list. Number 6 on my list is to ride bikes. Now, I don't have a bike, but one thing that they do in Portland is, and I'm probably explaining this wrong, so Nike headquarters are here, and in like downtown there's this thing called, I think it's called like Bike Town, and basically there are Nike bikes lined up in downtown, and you like pay for them, and then you can hop on, hop off type of a deal. Like you can take the bike, ride it around downtown, and then drop it off at like a different Nike bike location. So that's kind of like something that I've always thought seemed cool. Downtown's kind of a pain, so I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like it would be cool to just ride bikes downtown, but the problem is you would need to like drive to downtown first to get to the bike. So it might also be cool just to like somehow rent them or get them and just ride them around the neighborhood. That's one, like I'm not positive if that's going to happen, but it's on the list. It's something that I would like to do. I also like never ride bikes. And I really believe that saying it's like riding a bike is like not actually that true, because whenever I hop on one, I'm still like, how do I do this? The last time I rode a bike was at Nola's bachelorette party when we rented beach cruisers in Mission Beach. And that was a lot of fun, but they're not that easy to ride. So yeah, I don't know. In some variation, I would like to ride bikes. You can see a trend is a lot of these things have to do with like the outdoors and like it's sunny again. So let me embrace that, which is something that I never, ever, ever have done in my life being from Arizona and California, because you take the sunshine way for granted in Arizona and California. Like you don't even care about the sunshine. In fact, you celebrate the gloomy days, whereas here it's the opposite. So it's me like adjusting to that whole lifestyle. The next one on my list is also one that could totally be done anytime or like in the summer, but it's just to make homemade lemonade. I love lemonade. Fun fact, I can't stand soda. I've never liked soda. I don't like carbonation. And so as a kid, the only other like kid option or like out of a, what am I trying to say? Soda machine or whatever, fountain, what am I trying to say? Out of like the fountain drinks would be lemonade. So I've been a lemonade connoisseur, if you will, for quite some time. And there's nothing better than homemade lemonade with fresh squeezed lemons and the whole 9 yards. My mom would always make us homemade lemonade. Like we had a lemon tree, and yeah, it's just, there's nothing better. And I love the idea of having like a big pitcher of fresh lemonade. Plus, like Travis and his brothers really, really love Arnold Palmer's, which is iced tea and lemonade. I also like those, and even those would be better with fresh lemonade. The next one on my list, number 8, is to get fresh spring flowers from Trader Joe's. I don't know exactly how often I want to do this. I know a lot of people treat themselves to fresh flowers like weekly. I could be into that. I don't know, we'll see. I've never been the biggest flower girl. I don't know why. I just like, I like them, they're pretty, but I'm not like the normal like flower obsessed girl. But I do really like tulips. They're my favorite flower. They're very springy, and Trader Joe's has such pretty like flower selections, and they're so affordable, and I just love the idea of, you know, weekly, bi-weekly, something like that, just like having those fresh spring flowers in the house to just, I don't know, embrace the spring vibe, which is the whole point really of this whole bucket list. Number 9 on my list is to host a game night. I feel like maybe did I have this on previous bucket lists? I don't think so. I guess the point is it's not really like a spring thing, but it's just something that I think could be fun. I have like, my friend circle is growing as I've been working. I've met some more people, and I had 2 friends that I knew from Disney when I worked at Disney that just recently moved here. And so I'm feeling like I have more roots here in Oregon, and I'm, like I said, expanding that friendship circle. I also really, really love playing games and board games. Like, I get really competitive and I really, really love it. So I feel like it would be so fun to host like a game night, have some drinks, have some wine, whatever drink we decide on. And like, yeah, I don't know, that just excites me. Like, me and Travis will sometimes play games, just the 2 of us, which, don't get me wrong, I love that too. Or like his siblings sometimes will go to breweries and play games. But I just feel like the more the merrier. Games can be more fun when you have a big group. So the next one on my list is something I'm not positive if this will happen, just because life, money, and like busyness, and Travis might have to have surgery, and like there's just stuff going on. But my birthday is actually in spring. It's April 10th, so it's less than a month away. And I would love to go to Disneyland for my birthday. For those of you who don't know, I used to work at Disneyland, so that would be me, like, fingers crossed, hoping that one of my Disney people would be able to like get me in without having to pay for a ticket, and then that we would be able to use the flight benefits that we're lucky enough to have to fly to California, just to help save on some expenses. I haven't been in a really long time, and I love Disneyland, and I feel like on your birthday that's just like such a fun thing. And in general, it would be nice to take a trip down to California for my birthday, get some in and out, see my friends, something like that. So I would love to do that. It doesn't have to be for my birthday. It could be, I guess, anytime during the spring. And if we don't make it happen on this bucket list, maybe I can drag it to the summer. But yeah, ideally I would love to go to California/Disneyland for my birthday. Number 11, super random, but I really want to find a place here in Portland that sells like really good macaroons and coffee. So probably kind of like a French type of a place, like a bakery. I don't even know really how this came to be. I think I was like flipping through Pinterest or Instagram for spring ideas, and I saw like these pastel colored macaroons, and like it just got the wheels turning. Preferably like iced coffee, and then just some, yeah, pastel spring colored macaroons. I'm not like the biggest macaroon fan on the planet, but they're good and they're pretty, and I just want to do that. So that's on the list. And 12th and last on my spring bucket list is to find a place that does like a proper English tea. I was in this thing called NCL, National Charity League, when I was young, from 7th grade to 12th grade, and it's like this mother-daughter charity organization. But in NCL, we would do like these annual teas. I think it was annual, and basically like we would do the whole thing, like have actual tea, and then there's, I forget the 3 courses. I think it's sandwiches, like there's the little tea sandwiches, then there's scones with clotted cream and lemon curd, and then the third one is like the desserts, which can be like anything, like little cakes, tarts, pastries, whatever. But I just think it's something that was like super fun and like elegant, and in terms of having like a spring weekend activity or something, or like an afternoon snack type of a thing, I just feel like it'd be really fun to either find a place around here that does like the traditional English tea, or we could get ambitious and like do it ourselves. Preferably, I'd probably want to find a place first, and then maybe I'll feel confident enough to do it myself. But yeah, I just thought about how I haven't done that in a long time, and I think it would be a lot of fun. That is the end of my spring bucket list. As I said, it's a bit ambitious. There's kind of a lot on there, but I'm gonna do my best to make it happen. I've been pretty successful with the fall and winter ones so far. And this is just a lot of fun for me, so I encourage you guys to like think of things that you wanna do and then make them happen. My definition of spring, even though it technically starts on the 21st or 22nd, is like the whole month of March, the whole month of April, the whole month of May. That's just kind of how I do it in my head. Leave me any comments or questions down below, and please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Love you. Bye.